So professionals spend a huge amount of time winning appointments only to go on and lose them once they get them in the room, the Zoom, or wherever they might find themselves having the conversation where they're looking to be able to convert. So today I thought I'd share 5 big mistakes that are happening repeatedly that are stopping people winning the moment once they get themselves in the appointment. These are big ideas, and this is my training room environment. And if you haven't seen this style of video before, note that I'm going to be bouncing out to my iPad, sharing some precise insight, structures, and frameworks to help you not only avoid these mistakes, but overcome them, putting yourself more in control of your conversations in the moments that matter. I got 5 big mistakes to bounce into today, and let's not waste any of your time. Let's get straight into it. And the first is really about not understanding what value really looks like to other people. Don't understand what value really looks like. People will spend money when it's valuable, right? If you gave me $1,000 and I gave you $10,000 back for it, how often would you choose to be able to do it? You'd do that on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. So the only reason that people are not paying you the sum of money you're asking for what you're providing is because they don't see it as valuable. Your ability to be able to win in an appointment is your ability to be able to articulate your value towards that person's unique circumstances in that unique moment in time. What often people try to do when they're trying to demonstrate value is they come up with their value proposition, their value-based statements. And that is great at amateur level, yet if you're looking to get to professional level, you're probably better to understand that there are only really 4 things that any human being finds valuable. Understanding the relationship between you, your service, and the person you're looking to influence around these 4 things is how you can articulate your value at a higher level. The first is pretty obvious. It's money, right? If I give you money, I would like that to have an appreciating valued return that provides me more money or saves me more money. Outside of money, what we're looking at is time. So we are looking to give consideration to how them exchanging money with you makes or saves time. And if it isn't money or time, then it's the relationship to risk. And if it isn't money, time, or risk, the other relationship we're looking to give consideration to is status. So when you're exploring how you might be valuable to somebody in a conversation, take the time to be somewhere near certain that you know how them doing business with you is going to make or save them money, is going to make or save them time, is going to mitigate or prevent them from entering into risky scenarios, and might help elevate their status. What does that look like? Well, it means not showing up and throwing up everything that you can be able to do with somebody. It means that you are looking at unique people's circumstances and being able to position what it is that makes you valuable towards their unique situation. I'll try to make this simple for you. Would you like to purchase a pink inflatable glitter dinghy? It seats 4 people. It is lightly used. I'm not sure what it was used for, but would you like to purchase it from me for $2,632? I'm guessing the answer to that question is probably not. Or at best, you might have some questions for me. What if by alternative, though, you are on a vessel in an ocean that happens to be sinking. You have 2 to 3 people alongside you that you really care about. And the same pink inflatable glitter sparkle dinghy is being offered to you for the exact same price. How much do you want it right now? How much would you be prepared to pay for it right now? See, value is dependent upon its circumstances. And then the positioning of that value is dependent upon those circumstances too. So this isn't write a giant list of how you save people money. This isn't write a giant list of how you make or save people time, or write a giant list of all the reasons that you can mitigate risk or appreciate somebody's status. This is knowing who are you, who are they, who are you to them, who are they to you, so that what you can do is communicate your value to their unique circumstances. That's going to win you more appointments, because not everybody is the same. And as we enter into an environment that people are going to have information at their fingertips more than ever for decision making, your ability to position this could be the game changer of winning appointments or losing appointments when you're in the room. The second big mistake is really quite embarrassing, actually, is that too many people in a sales environment, they pitch as opposed to present. They show up and throw up their wonderful pitch, hoping it's going to be sticky. And we have grown up with the importance of pitching. We've seen TV shows like Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, and we understand that people are putting their pitch deck together for investors for their startup or for other investment purposes. Yet, if you're to pitch at somebody, think of it literally, there's a strong possibility that it might hurt. By alternative, let's look at this word here, present. You're going to make a presentation of how you might be able to help with somebody. See, another word for a present is a gift, right? Is a gift. How does somebody know a gift is a gift and not just a thing? Well, they know a gift is a gift and not just a thing is because of the way that it is packaged. The other person knows that what you're delivering to them is a gift, and we all love to give gifts. We all love to receive gifts. So in your appointments, you have to be able to package your advice, your guidance, your offer, what it is you're provided in a way that it feels like a gift. How do you do that? Well, you learn to be able to master a presentation. And every great presentation has these three things. The first is the beginning. The second is a middle. And the third is an end. And I know what you're thinking, like, where's the big idea here, Phil? This doesn't sound that useful, that revolutionary. Well, most presentations are all middle. It's a ton of stuff without context. If you're looking to win inside your appointment, we need to put this all in a giant frame. And that means that in each of these areas, we're going to have a number of steps. What are we going to put in the beginning of the presentation? Now, this is as you're going to start to be able to share with them what you can provide for them, what your solution looks like. It's going to be like, why are we here? A reminder. And that could be as simple as, so the reason we're here today is blank. If you're a real estate agent, that could be the reason we're here today is to help show you how we can sell your home for the most money in the shortest period of time. If you run a coaching business, it's like the reason we're in this conversation today is so that we can help you to be able to uncover more of your human potential and find a clear path to how you focus more of your time on the right things. Goal is that you create a setup at the beginning is like, yes, that's why I'm here, same page. What you then give them is some degree of an agenda. And all an agenda is telling people what you're going to tell them. Why is this important? It keeps you in control. A sales presentation done right is largely one-way traffic after a series of questions where a transfer of enthusiasm or momentum is going to carry you towards the finish line. You want to stay in control, you stay in control with an agenda. And all an agenda is telling them what you're going to tell them. And then there is a few things you want to put in the middle. One is some degree of history and credibility. The other is some degree of a range or a scope of offerings that you provide. And then also the one thing, value packed, that you'd like them to be able to do business with you on today. That sounds simple. Why do we need those three things? Well, credibility needs to show them you've done this before, you've done it recently, you've done it for someone like them. You want to bring some degree of gravitas that you have a proven track record in helping in this area. Have you ever had somebody say to you, I didn't know you did that, from your suite of offerings? If you don't share with them that we deal with everything from here to here, they might not understand how much utility you can bring to them as a provider of services or goods for their long-term future. That might not be an age of things, but it certainly needs to feature in your presentation. And then the primary focus is the one thing you can do for them linked to the value that you understood earlier on because you know what value looks like in their world. Only once you've delivered all of that information, we got to put a bow on it. How do you put a bow on it? Well, in this final part of a sales presentation, what we're looking to be able to do is to give some degree of summary. What is a summary? A summary is telling them what you've told them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to close with some form of invitation to take the next natural step. That looks simple. Even with my ugly handwriting, you still get to follow the steps. But why is it that so many sales presentations and appointments are all middle? It's all information, but there's no leadership or structure to the way the information is being presented. So people are left not knowing what to do next. Learn to present your information, not to pitch it, so it's received as the gift that it truly is. So I shared 2 big mistakes and how to avoid them. Is this useful? If so, leave something in the comments that says this has been worth your time. Share with us an action that is going to change the way that you do business. Help me and my team realize that this style of information for you on YouTube is worth it for you. I'm trying to give you high value training in an environment that feels like it's just you and I in a conversation, developing your skills to make you better in the conversations that matter. Share 2 big mistakes. I'm wondering, what do you do with this information? Well, if I was in your shoes right now, I'd be taking the time to look at these big mistakes and look at the customers I'm trying to serve and say, do I really understand how I make or save people money? Do I really understand how I make and save people time? Do I really understand the risks I help people keep people away from? And the same with how I elevate their status. And for every user group that I work with, I'd start to be able to document the ways in which I'm valuable towards those people and build myself a body of language that supports how I help specific groups of people overcome specific problems so that I can better articulate my value in unique scenarios. I'd build myself a pitch that has a beginning, middle, and end that serves every type of client I'm looking to work with every type of offering that I'm looking to have. And I'd find a way of doing it in 2 minutes, in 20 minutes, in 2 hours, and in between. So I have utility out in the real world to be able to show up and tell my story about the services that I provide that support real people's real challenges in a way that makes me sound different to everybody else I'm looking to do business with. And then I'd avoid the next 3 big mistakes, adding up to 5. And the third big mistake is hiding behind what I call sales prevention tools. In your industry, it's highly probable that you are provided with useful information to support your sales process that I'm here today to tell you might be useless information. If the document you are referring to, the slide deck, the iPad, the PowerPoint, is more valuable than you being there, you should have sent it in an email. Only bring tools into your conversation if they are some form of visual punctuation to what you're saying at that moment in time, because otherwise you have to realize that people cannot read, listen, and watch at the same time. So if you're showing them something over here, it's out of screen. They're not following what is happening here, and they're not listening to what it is you're saying, so they're getting lost. Not only that, is you could be creating a plethora of objections in your world, with one big one being, can you leave it with me? I need some time to think about it, because the tool that you brought into the presentation is the leave behind that they are going to ask you for at the end of the presentation. It doesn't mean don't use tools. It's just ask yourself, are they helping or are they hurting? And be sure that it falls this side of the line. Because if it doesn't, then what you have is a sales prevention tool as opposed to a sales aid. Other big mistakes is to remember that a confused buyer cannot buy. We want clarity. Big mistake here is confusing offers. I see people do this all the time, and what they say is like, you could do this, or you could do that, or you could do the other, and you could pay this way or that way, or we've got all these different options and we're customizing something that's unique for you, and let me give you multiple different ways that you could be able to choose this so that you don't feel pressured for us. And confusion offers creates chaos. Ever been to the Cheesecake Factory, tried to order your food? Overwhelm. I remember coming to the United States for the first time and being presented with like a real Mexican restaurant's menu. And that was overwhelming to me. I was like, these are too many choices. How on earth do I get to decide? It wasn't until I gained experience that most dishes were very similar more than different that I could navigate that. But when people are looking to do business with you on things they haven't got a proven track record in, your offers need to be clear and not clever. There needs to be clear space that says, these two are the wrong option, so that they can make the decision effortlessly. How many times have you been buying a package, a serviced offering, maybe from a SaaS company online where you can have your subscription at this level, or this level, but choose anyone you like, but this one is the most popular, this one here, and the others are in place to be able to create decoys towards the one you want them to pick. If you're giving people choice, the choices that are not the one that you want them to pick are in place to be able to act as a decoy to demonstrate value towards the one that you want them to pick, which is the offer that is crystal clear as the one that is right for them. This helping? Stop these mistakes, your appointments will close at a greater level. And in that same thing with confusing offers this also is about how you talk about what you charge for what you do. When people say things like what we typically charge and, like what our standard rates are and like what we would look to be able to do it for is, if you are not proud of your price, there's a strong possibility that hesitation adds to confusion, which stands in the way of you being able to convert at a higher level. Put simply, if you're not convinced, you cannot convince. If you do not believe that you're worth every sum of money, every single dollar, every dime or nickel that you're asking for, please don't expect somebody else to believe it. They say the first thing you need to sell is yourself. Before that, you need to sell yourself on yourself to be able to believe that you're worth what you're asking for. Because if you don't believe it, nobody else will. Final big mistake for you to give consideration to, it's abdicating responsibility in the decision-making process. The number of appointments I have seen people work hard to get, deliver a beautiful presentation, show huge insight, care, and love towards helping somebody else solve the problem, presenting them some options, and then at the end of it, creating what I call like a ta-da moment. What do I mean by a ta-da moment? I mean like, ta-da! You decide. So what do you want to do? Which option would you like to choose? Which direction of travel would you like to go in? When you abdicate responsibility from the decision-making process on the other person, you put all of the risk and pressure back on them. If you are an expert, if you are there truly with the goal of being able to serve others, please, pretty please, help lead people in the decision-making process towards the outcome that you would believe is right for them and secondary, right for you. If you can help people make decisions that put their interests ahead of yours, that then support the bigger picture on what everybody's trying to achieve, and you lead them towards that decision, they'll say thank you long term. They'll say thank you long term. And it's that level of gratitude we should be looking for in decision making. And how do you do that? Well, all you need is a what happens next statement. So what happens next? And then you ask them a question that they only know the answer to if they've decided to follow your what happens next advice. So what happens next from here is we're going to do this, this, and this, and you're going to do this, this, and this. And in order for us to be able to do that, who's the best person for us to speak to when it comes to invoicing or installation or access or whatever it might be? And when they give you that name back, then what that means is that they're in alignment to what it is that you're looking to do. We're talking about an ethical assumptive close, a series of statements followed by an easy to answer question that when the question is answered, it means that they say yes to the whole thing. That, my friends, is leadership in appointments, helping people make smarter decisions faster. All from my training room, just me and an iPad, not a big stage, a cappella, teaching you how to avoid some of the biggest mistakes when it comes to winning inside your appointments. So get clear on how you're truly valuable to unique people in unique circumstances. Learn to present, not pitch. Don't stand behind sales prevention tools. If they help you, then use them to amplify your presentation. Don't stand behind them. Remove any confusing offers. If you've got multiple choice, they should be decoys towards the obvious choice. And never, ever, ever abdicate responsibility in the decision-making process to the other person. See you in the next video. Bye for now.